What it do, y'all? What it do? Um, Listen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm trying to make sure. Trying to make sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not causing no trouble because I done had some problems leading up to tonight trying to get everything going. But listen, this is the final day of the DCA challenge, and I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate a little bit because if you don't celebrate yourself, who gonna celebrate you? Especially all these suckers out here. I'm trying to tell you, like, people got a problem with you. So I find myself sometimes, let me take my glasses off so y'all can really see me. I find myself supporting people before I even know the content. And I know that some people say that's probably not a good thing to do. But as soon as I see you, if I mess with you, I'm gonna hit the button. And if I'm not hitting the button, that means that at some point, this internet stuff has either made you feel like I'm somebody that you can virtually disrespect, because I don't have no problem with nobody in real life. I ain't got no problems with nobody in real life. But on this social media, it's like, it's weird. But anyway, we celebrating, so I don't even want to talk about that. But sometimes I do find myself supporting people before I even know what they're saying. Like the sound ain't even came on my phone yet, and I'm hitting like just because who they are. See, and then shout out to nephew. I'm interviewing my nephew. Actually, it's one of my good friends. He passed away, but it's his nephew. But he's gonna always be my nephew. But he's on his PhD journey, and he's just doing great. And he's texting me right now while we do this. He said, I ain't gonna even go into that because I ain't really looked through it yet. But I want to say this: if you've been supporting me, I appreciate you. If you haven't, I appreciate you because I'm building skin for where I'm going. See, one of the things about me, I ain't trying to be popular amongst men. Because, let me say this, I've always been popular. And my life has always been trying not to be popular. At whatever level of my life, I've always been popular, meaning I've always wanted to do something. So I've always wanted to build myself in a quiet place. And then when I want to pop out and enjoy myself, I can. But because of where I was positioned in life, it was hard for me to balance that. So that's one of the reasons that I moved. But I want to say this because this ain't so much about me. This is about the journey. I had 30 days where I made a commitment and I executed. This is all it's about. Life is a bunch of short steps. And I know I'll be preaching sometime, but I don't be trying to preach. I'm just saying today, what time is it? Okay, so it's midnight. It's 12:30 in Detroit, but I ain't made 8:31 yet here in Nashville. So I'm gonna still speak as if it's not a new day. Today, 8:30, August 30th. My understanding of how to succeed is magnified to a degree where I would literally have to go against God to not win at this point. And I ain't doing that. And when I say that, so you have to know, you have to have been through the fire to understand what I'm saying. You have to have put your purpose on the back burner for so long to really respect and understand that. And I've done that. Like, I feel like I put my purpose on the back burner for so long. And I'm not trying to prove nothing to men. This is what y'all got to understand. I ain't trying to prove nothing. So for anybody that see me and say, like, why this dude, I ain't trying to prove nothing to you. I'm talking to one or two people. Because it's one or two people who understand me at this level. Most people understand you once everybody else say you cool. I ain't talking to them. Because I know how they move. I'm talking to the 1% that can see the conviction in me and it's conveyed and they can feel it and they understand that they were either there or they're on their way there or they remember when. I'm talking to them. Because the people that, like I just got off a phone call with somebody that's near and dear to me. And I've just seen them. Listen, when you're on purpose, the world moves out your way. So I'm not even talking to them. I'm talking to a chosen few. And that's okay. I think that's a sign I want. Talking to a chosen few. This ain't for everybody. So for the ones that feel me, for the ones that have been through the fire, like I've been through the fire as a man. I lost my mother early. I live with, I've had to figure out who I was. And once you figure that out, because most people say that right there will take a lifetime. Just find out who you are. If you're lucky to make it to that stage. But once you find out who you are, what you gonna do with that? Once you find out who you are, what are you going to do with that information? Everybody say they want to heal. Okay? Once you heal and become this person, or at least there's no more, you've conquered the past. What do you do moving forward? What do you do? So shout out to everybody who has dealt with their past, come to that fork in the road, and they're moving beyond. Those are the people that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the people who have been called out on their past or they've been hiding it. Or they know it's there and they just conveniently not speaking on it. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking to the people who are taking active action in their lives every day. They making moves. They making uncomfortable moves. They planning. Their goals are so scary until they shaking in their boots because they've made a commitment to excellence. And now they can't hide it. Like when they come out, they can't act fake like they don't know better. Some people that we see every day are great, but they've dumbed themselves down because it pays the bills. Terrence Howard. Did you ever know that Terrence Howard was like that? You see Terrence Howard speak, all you got to do, you got to shut up. Unless you got an IQ like that. But those people are amongst us. I remember I had to dumb myself down. I've literally made decisions. So I remember I made a decision to not be a street dude no more. And I've had people tell me, don't tell your story about the streets and none of that. I'm going to tell the story. Because I wasn't raised in the streets. So I had two factions, my mama's side and my daddy's side. My daddy's side was pimps, players, hustlers, streets. Prior to this generation, we didn't have many professionals, as far as I know, on my dad's side. But on my mom's side, my mother had a bachelor's degree. My grandmother had a bachelor's degree. And the rest, my sister got a PhD. My other sister got a associate's headed to. So these are learned people. But I remember making the decision that I'm not going to. I had to make a choice. I remember, I don't know if this was a talk with God, but I remember saying to myself, you got to make a decision. You're going to be a square or you going this route. Because I was selling crack. I was in spots, selling weed, crack, ecstasy. So the man that you see here, this was a decision. Because I knew what was riding on. If I go bad, it's so much riding on that. That's like saying if my granny would have never made a move. Do you understand how many people that affected? My nephews and nieces look up to me. I ain't letting them down. I ain't letting them down. They look up to me. When they call me, wow, I ain't letting them down. But that was the decision. This wasn't by happenstance. I ain't just go weak at some point. I always been about this life. I don't know where that came from, but I think it was all pain. When I lost my mama and then I had to move with my aunt. And she treated me very well. Shout out to my Auntie Carol. That making moves right there behind me, that's my Auntie Carol. That Rosemary Street, that's my Auntie Carol. Carolyn Harris is her name. And when I talk about Carolyn Harris, she looked just like my mother too. And her and my mother could not stand each other. And they were the sisters. They couldn't stand each other. They loved each other, but their personalities were so different. And And it reminds me that I don't know if, so I do Zodiac for entertainment. So my mother is a Pisces. Her sister is a Taurus. They just, I don't know. But then the same the same energy that they had, my cousin Teddy and me, we go through the same thing. And it's because we love each other so much, because I love that guy. And he loves me. But it's something about me that really ticks him off. I don't know what it is. I have to say, excuse my Sagittarius sometimes, because sometimes he be like, man, well, I ain't gonna even say that because he'll give me the energy, but he won't ever say it. He's never said to me. But all of our friends, they make it their job to let me know what he said. Teddy said that you ain't never worked for nothing, and you ain't this and you ain't that. Hey man, y'all watch that, man, because people, family stuff, some people are intimidated by your legacy. Some people intimidated by your legacy. You think it's about personal people. It ain't about no personal person. It's just the fact that you can be kind of easygoing because you didn't go through so much. And when somebody went through, everything was hard and they came from just trauma, it does make you just look at it. It's like looking at somebody. I'm trying to think of trauma, things that I've. So when I hear people dogging their mothers, or listen, this is one of my things, right? So people whose mother or father passed and they're in their 40s, right? Because I lost my mother so early, I was 5. So people who parents is like 80 and they like 50 and they really messed up about losing their parent, I understand, because my dad is still here and I'm gonna be messed up, and I had him the whole time. I've had him up to 49. So if something happened to him today, I'm gonna be hurt. But when people lose their mother and they had them for 30, 40, 50 years, it just, for me, I don't even know what it is. It's like, you ungrateful. But that's a part of my trauma. That's a part of my trauma, and I understand it. That's the good thing about being in the information age, because now you can talk about your traumas. You couldn't talk about PTSD. You couldn't talk about. That's why so many people that was molested, they coming out and they telling their story, and it's like, wow. But for me, losing my mother so early gave me this thing where I look at everybody who, if you argue with your mama, you're just an animal. But your mama might not be shit. You know what I'm saying? And when I say she ain't shit, I ain't saying that, but I'm saying her personally, her character might be off. You can love a person and their character be off and be questionable. And you can have a questionable parent as far as character is concerned. And you challenge that. And then for me, it looks like you challenging, you being ungrateful. But that's my trauma. My bad, y'all. But shout out to y'all. I'm 20 minutes in. I just wanted to do this because this is the last day of the DCA challenge. And I remember the time when it came to deadlines, when it came to consistency, when it came to planning, I just was lackadaisical. And I'm trying to figure out why though. Because I always felt like life could be cut short because my mom was only 31 when she died. What made me look at time, and part of it was being raised in this easy situation with my grandma. That kind of made me a glutton for comfort because like now, my grandmother used to put a lot of quilts on the bed. She would so we used to go to Goodwill's all the time. So she would take a Goodwill blanket. Soon as she bring it home, before you could touch it, it would go in the dryer. And I used to wonder like, why is she putting this in the dryer? But I think it went back to bed bugs. You had to burn them. I don't know what it was. But what I'm saying is, that's what she would do. I just remember. My point is, she would do that, then she would wash them. And then next thing you know, they would be around the house. And I had so many covers on my bed, it felt like Christmas every day. And so when I'm like now, when I'm dating somebody, not now, but in the past, and they wasn't enough cover at their house, I equated that to poverty. If we ain't have enough cover, it's fucked up, bro. Man, listen, this trauma that you go through, it's real. It's real. So I hope everybody heal, because we got some stuff that we holding in. I know that scared the shit out of y'all. I hit the wrong button. I got this pad right here that I can't show y'all. Okay, that was the crickets. Don't never want to hear that. I like that. Okay. So anyway, my cousin was supposed to come by here. But that's a whole nother show, man. I want to talk about that. Like, you know, we don't talk about a lot of stuff, man, and we just let stuff happen. But when I say this, I'm thinking about my daughter. Like, I'm sure so much she want to say. I'm going to have her on the show, but it's going to be one of those late night where she can kind of be, and it's probably going to be 2 parts to it because she probably got so much shit she want to say. And that's okay. Because I definitely wasn't perfect. I was not perfect, y'all. But after having her, I said, I'm not having no more. Until I'm not the center of my universe. Eric, as long as you're the center of your universe, do not have any more children. Listen, to you. As long as you are the center of your universe, do not have any children. Because they're going to resent you at some point. Because what you're going to do is you're not going to take enough pictures of them. Because you're the center of your universe. You're going to do things out of duty. But then that goes back to why you had your child in the first place. Some of us had children because we were trying to get back at people. There was animosity. We were trying to keep people. But if we say that could hurt the child. So we all need a full-blown, wow. We need a full-blown therapy session as a group. I'm talking about a whole generation. And anybody that feels like they heal can opt out. But for the rest of us, When I thought about that, I just thought about so many different things. Some of it is entitlement. Because somebody can give you their perspective and debunk what you're feeling. And you will be ashamed of what you said. But it was your reality. Hey, man, we got a lot of work to do. I hope this Pattern Disruption podcast can help with this, because I'm going to bring it real. I'm going to bring it raw. And we're going to talk about it the best we can. What I do in the daytime, I do because I am a student of the game. So entrepreneurship, personal development, those are the things that built me that took me out of dang near depression. And I can't say I've ever been depressed. But those are the things that took me out of the low places in my life. So I got to pay homage to personal development, entrepreneurship. Those are things that make me excited when there's nothing good going. But if I take myself out the center of the universe, I want to help some people. So that's why I do this. So shout out to y'all. I'm checking out. We almost 30 minutes in. I had a couple cocktails, but I want to check in, man, because the DCA challenge is over. I'm doing that and I'm pushing that, not because I can't do it without y'all, because I'm going to do it. I don't think I would have did 25 a day, though, without y'all. So I got to thank y'all. I got to give y'all flowers. I got a plant up here. It's fake, though. So this whole gesture might be fake. But I want to give y'all virtual flowers for making me do something that I wouldn't have done this month the way I did it. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. That's the wrong button. It's that one. But yeah, so I wouldn't have did it like that. So like I say, shout out to you. And we need each other. We are a tribe. But you're going to have little players in the tribe who are going to try to be bigger than the tribe. You know people that are bigger than the tribe. I'm just somebody that's outspoken enough to say I'm not bigger than the tribe. I ain't bigger than the tribe, and I ain't trying to be. Now, if somebody else places me bigger than the tribe, I'm going to do my housekeeping if it gets out of hand. But what I'm saying is, me personally, come talk to me. I ain't trying to be bigger than the tribe. I know where my blessings come from. So shout out to y'all. Right there at 30 minutes. God is the greatest. Shout out to my best friend, Dave Walker, to my daughter, to my family, my dad, my aunt, my cousins. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. My friends, people that support me, my subscribers. Y'all are the freaking greatest. I do this for y'all. Shout out to all my friends. The more names I say, the more I'm going to have to say, so I'm going to leave it there. But peace to y'all. Keep being blessed. DCA Challenge, we come to a close tomorrow, but I don't want it to be a close. I want it to be a grand opening. I want it to be a grand closing and a grand opening. So I'm going to play this video tomorrow, too. I don't know how it's going to go across, but that ain't what matters. What is this sticking out of this mug? Oh, this is wire. All right, I'm out, y'all. I love y'all. Keep loving, keep living, and keep disrupting. Peace.